suppose that maybe you could consider this the unofficial first footage for my YouTube channel. Today I'll mostly be putting out water at my family's corn maze and fall festival. But I'm not using no water truck, and I ain't using no tractor to plastic hood. What I'm using is a crummy, cheap, broken down water wagon, which leaks water out of it if you notice. There is apparently a leak right here, and I think the thing dripped water out all night. But the tractor it's hooked to is something special. A 1973 John Deere 6030 with a 619 engine for a repower. This tractor we got in mid to late 2018. The engine locked up in it. It was rebuilt a couple of years ago, and a new engine was put in. And the tractor likes to run and fire like a top. The tractor also has a large bumper on it, which was common in Florida due to the fact that many people use these tractors to run over stuff. When I say run over, I mean they ran over palmettos, myrtles, they ran over crap like that. That's what they did. This water wagon here belongs to a individual who loves to spend his money. I'm not going to mention his name due to the fact I do not wish to embarrass him, because this hitch setup is one of the worst I've ever seen. That pump there is what we use to fill the wagon with water, and if you look down there in the canal, there is a hose with a tank on the end of it. That's to tell us what the hose is. But I'll catch back up with you later when we're putting out water. See, this bumper's made a big screen and stuff. The thing has plenty of engine oil in it, so let's see if it'll fire. We gotta give it about half throttle before we crank it. I knew it, it fired right up. The water wagon's full of water and we're good to go, so let's go put out some water. So if you notice down there, there's a container in the water, right? Wrong. That's the hose. It goes down there in the outline of the water. The hose runs up here to this pump, powers the engine, and it pumps the water all through this hose to the back here, where it goes into the tank. You can't see it very well, but it's sloshing around there. It's slowly going up in there. Hopefully, it's not too bad of a day. I can already see traffic, but there's also a few small leaks in the hose. That ain't nothing. as is one of the common processes with doing anything, putting diesel fuel in the tractor. Tractor's on the side, diesel fuel side, to come put some fuel in it. Well, we have this tank rig just mounted on the back of a trailer that has our combine heads on it, and there's a fill height pump up there. Pumps the diesel up out of the tank with suction, and then it goes all through the hose and into the tractor's tank. The tractor's tank is actually really big. It's so big I could drop this camera down in it. Wouldn't want to do that, would we? And while it's doing that, I'll show you back here how the water wagon works. So basically, it's a homemade, rigged up design where the water shoots out these nozzles. There's a valve that you pull right here with a cable, and the water comes flying out. This valve here is the one that you hook up to put the water in the tank. The hitch design is one of the sorriest that I've ever seen. The tractor also has plenty of weight on it, and I was worried it was scraping the tunnel, but I don't know. Lots of people coming into the corn maze today. It's a Sunday, so I'm sure we're going to have a busier crowd. Let me show you how I open this up. Yeah, and the water starts flying out. we're just going to shut this valve off here. This valve is the one that opens it. And then get this and hook it up. Very simple the way this is, actually. What kind of a hookup that is, but obviously it won't fit, so. Don't know where he got the idea that that would work, because that hookup's too small. So I'll ask him when he comes back. In case you're wondering who I'm referring to, it's my father I'm referring to, because he does this kind of stuff. The rest of us are working. And yeah. So I'll catch up with you again later. Boy, that tractor's a monster. Well, it's now sometime in the late afternoon. It has cooled off a bit, and we're just filling the tank up with some more water. We also have the hose extended where it's longer. We don't have to back up every time we want to put water in it. We have double fittings hooked onto the hose, and the valve's open so the water will go up in the tank. Hey, Dad, look there on the shore. That's dangerous. This tank is very crooked, so it's not in the best of shape. The tractor's in good shape, tank's not. The double fittings we can connect on there and fill the tank with water. I don't know if I can put out any more water today or not. There's a ladder up there which leads to the tank lid. That allows you to check how much water there is. There is a few small leaks, such as right here. While we're waiting for the water tank to fill up, let me give you a bit of history on the John Deere 6030. The John Deere 6030 was a tractor produced in 1972 to 1976. It's powered by a 531 turbocharged engine, which is why it has an intercooler on it. The tractor was, you could say, popular, and still is today, as a bunch of people are actually still using these things, including us. In fact, we run two. The other one is over there. I'll show it to you in a minute. This specific tractor that we have here, this is purchased brand new by the Latmaxi Corporation in 1973. They were one of the largest family-owned cattle ranches in the state of Florida until they sold out and seized all their operations. We got this tractor from them. They put a giant bumper on it at some point, possibly even when it was brand new, I don't know. But most tractors in Florida have bumpers like this because they run over stuff. Anyway, the engine that's in the tractor, however, is not the original engine. This engine came out of a Grove pump and we had to repower it. And the only reason for that is because in 2019, during disking a field, the engine just caved down and locked up. The tractor sat unused for 4 years after that before we put the engine in. This weight here on the tractor is with it. These other two were added when we got the thing. It has no 3-point, and the PTO brake doesn't work while the PTO spins whenever the tractor is running. It also is the inside weights on the tractor. And for a Florida tractor, if you notice, the fenders are rusted out. We do have new ones, we just ain't put them on yet. The tractor itself is a bit of a hoss, you could say, because it's got some power. It also has this homemade canopy here, which I do not know the story behind, but I'd sure like to hear it, because it appears to be a little beefed up for South Florida standards. It has a single range transmission. That is the injection pump, a Bosch. And on each side, it has large Firestone Super All Traction 23s. And these tires were good for pulling over the Florida ground. If we had forestry tires on this tractor, it might pull better, but what it has will work. And this possibly was one of the first 25 made. I don't know. So it would have these decals. After that, they switched to the line decal that most 6030s have, but this one has those. But this tractor gets used yearly on our ranch. We don't use it every day, but we do use it for some jobs occasionally. Overall, it's just a tractor with some horsepower. I'll leave it at that. So this tractor right here is our other 6030, which is a 1976 model. We got this tractor out of Ohio in the early 90s. It did not have these big single tires on originally. These came from someplace where they worked with a lot of salt. But the tires were originally duals when we put these singles on sometime in 2014. The tractor does have a 531 rebuild in it, and also an auxiliary fuel tank, which we don't use. But this tractor also has a Bosch injection pump, and it has a cab, but the cab is not very worthy of being a cab. It is noisy inside that, and as such, if it is noisy, one of my uncles nicknamed it the Hell Wagon. The implement behind the tractor is a Howard rotavator. This is a Howard rotavator that was built in England. The roller was not with the rotavator. Brand new. It was custom built by some guy, I don't know. But this was mainly the kind of setup we use when we're burning woods during the winter, early spring. Because we have to cut fire lines so the fires don't spread. We also use the rotavator to tear up for the maize, which the maize is planted too soon, so it is not big enough. But the rotavator often stays hooked behind this tractor, because even though that tractor has more power, this one's got a 3-point and the other one doesn't. So both 6030s get used yearly. They still are put to work every once in a while. And just to make it a point, they're workhorses, not show horses. Well, it is now evening. I've just finished putting out water for the day. What a day this has been. The old 6030 pulled through most of the day. I had to fill it up with diesel fuel, and it didn't run out. Never once has the thing failed me today. And the water wagon, even though the hitch is crummy, it still worked and held up through most of the day, and I got everything watered. I just finished watering the main road. And you always leave the key off on the tractor, because that could run the battery down. But this thing actually doesn't shut off the key. There's a shut-off switch that you pull. This is our Gleaner E combine. Now, this combine we got in Nebraska in 2000. And trust me, it did not look like this. The wheels look like this. But the rest of the combine did not look like this, because it was so nice it should have been in a museum. Unfortunately, we brought it down here. It got absorbed in the corn maze, and now it's a sight for very, very sore eyes. This is a Oliver grain drill. I think it's called something else, but it's who made it, I think. This thing was in mint condition also when we picked it up. But it's rotted down, and it's also absorbed into the corn maze. The combine is a very sad sight, and so is the John Deere 45. The John Deere 45 is actually nice when we bought it. And so is this John Deere rake. I mean, everything, almost everything that's down here has gotten absorbed into this, and this rake is just sad. Now, this is my father's 830 diesel John Deere. He likes to use this tractor to pull. This tractor was actually bought new by Lee Brothers Ranch, which is non-existent now. They went out of business. They had the tractor brand new, and then one of them sold it to some other uncle I'm connected to. I can't remember his name, but he sold it to him, and then my my dad's granddaddy, Earl, I think he traded a hog for this tractor. My dad was 10 years old, and my dad and our old ranch mechanic Tom did most of the restoration work on it. Tom is deceased now, unfortunately. So, but yeah, he did most of it. My dad helped him solve it. And the only piece of original sheet metal left on the thing is the flywheel cover. Everything else had to be bought as replacements, probably out of a salvage yard if I had to guess. And it needs new tires, needs new paint job, power steering needs to be fixed. The governor doesn't work. The speed governor, not the governor himself. So yeah, this tractor does have some issues with it, but it still cranks and runs. It's electric start too. What the? Ugh. May have to turn the camera off here for a second, guys. This right here is our 1957 John Deere 420 propane conversion. It is not a factory propane. If it was factory propane, it would work a lot more, but this was purchased out of a Trader magazine. The engine had been rebuilt, and it had, I think it had a paint job, but other than that, the tractor was shot. It had a propane conversion done to it. Back then, I think propane was cheaper to run. I can't remember when we bought this tractor. I think it was sometime in the 90s when we got this. I don't know the exact year, but we actually like to still use this tractor on our ranch occasionally. We use it for planting the maize, although this year we used the grain drill for planting, and we only use the 420 for spreading and spraying whenever it's not planting. But so this tractor does still get used on the ranch. Over here, under the tent, this is my father's 1954 Minneapolis Moline GB diesel. He bought this in the Don Oliver collection in Arkansas. When he got it, it had a locked up motor, had a bigger pipe on it than that, and it had rice tires on the back. He did replace the tires, so the tires are brand new. And by sheer luck, he actually got the thing broke loose and running. He did that all himself, but I helped him crank it, because we pulled it with one of our John Deere 4020s, and the thing popped up right to life. It is a pretty awesome tractor. This here, that's my Farmall H 1944 model, so it's a wartime model. This tractor originally owned by some man by the name of Junk Whaley. I don't know his real name. He's deceased now, I think. But it's got a 3-point PTO, toolbox, wide front end. This tractor was restored by Tom, the same guy that restored the 830 for us. Over here, this is another collector's. I prefer not to mention his name. Another collector's Toro golf course tractor. These tractors are very rare and hard to come by. This thing was recently restored and is looking better than ever. This John Deere here on the end happens to be my 1984 216 with a diesel generator motor in it. I bought this thing repowered for some kid in Melbourne. I think he did it. I can't remember, but the guy he got it from used it to pull boat traders around. That's what he did with it for a while, and then he decided to sell it. So I actually worked here last year, made the money, bought this from him, and then I used it as a pulling tractor in February and January. It's probably going to do that again this year. Then the same collector as the Toro truck. These are his two, his Cub Cadet Custom High Clear 100 and his Cub Cadet 72 with a blade, which I like that blade. I would like to have that for my tractor. But my John Deere is like a sore eye to his Cub Cadets. Yeah, that's my Farmall, my father's Moline. This tractor is one of the prettiest ones we have. If you give it a good wash, it's all shiny. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. If I end up posting this on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps out the channel. This tractor does need a complete restoration, doesn't it?